Research trend analysis on smartphone addiction. Minari. Introduction. Smartphone addiction can be found in domestic dissertation and academic journals. In terms of publishing journals, it is published in the various academic journals, such as the Korean Digital Policy Association, the Korean Society of the Science and Technology, the Korean Society of the Children Education, the Korean Liberations discourse, the Korean Youth Counseling and Welfare Institutes, and the Korean Content Association. Addiction is the habit-based addiction, which refers to a condition in which physical and physical dependence prevents from stopping and action and harms on physical and mental health. There is a physical difference giving the different meaning to addiction. Physical dependence is a concept such as habitation that tries to relieve tension and emotional discomfort by continuing to use any stimulus. The processing research conducted on the children and adolescents shall be as follows. It is the conduction of the smartphone and internet addiction concept and as a communication to them the user physical response. Addiction is too absorbed in the smartphone to concentration on there are the things and that cannot out of them. It is highly likely then the small b trigger which cannot take eyes off in the while walking using smartphone on the street. Addiction requires stronger intensity or duration stimulation to experience satisfaction. Smartphone tolerance is a state in which smartphone usage must be included to have the same expected in people, and which means experiencing extreme mooding things. Now see ADX and physiological reaction such as the insomnia when smartphone uses the stoppage or suddenly decreased. Smartphone addiction is also closely related to mental health. If exposed to strong blue light from smartphone for a long time, there is a high risk to working under biorhythm. The body recognizes the day and the night through light coming into the eyes and control the rhythm of the body. Excessively used to a smartphone during the night is easy for the human body to confuse day and the light, raising the possibility of the sleeping disorder and leading to mental illness such as the depression and anxiety. The Korea Information Society Agency decided to officially use the term smartphone awareness with them smartphone addiction. Consequently, we define the state in which excessive use of the internet or smartphones, including the excessive release of the internet and reduce the control of the use, experiencing problematic consequences as internet or for instance academic discussion on smartphone addiction are very prone research on internet addiction and mobile phone addiction. And smartphone addiction is distinguished from internet addiction and the mobile phone addiction is cool. A characteristic of the smartphones are constant in the progress. Through this, we would like to analyze and invention research trend of the smartphone addiction based on the domestic degree papers that have been stated so far and propose useful information to research on smartphone addiction. Research method. This study analyzed domestic method and doctoral paper on smartphone addiction in their National Assembly Library. The for you case and National Library of Korea. The core was used in the correction process were corrected using smartphone addiction, smartphone emotion, and smartphone addiction programs. Data processing. And it is study smartphone addiction relation dissolution from 2009 to 2020 was used in the analysis in order to understand the general trend data were analyzed and processed by degree type, year by year. Subject and research subject by statistical method. In addition, we treat smartphone addiction related to research paper as data using Excel to analyze them in the recording with the element to pick analysis base list. The analysis results were frequently analyzed by mistake and the percentage of all analysis travel was rounded to the first price. Conclusion: the popularization of smartphone has caused many problems as well as conventional smartphone addiction, which can cause not only physical effects but also economic problems. Physical spectacular problems and discover work and study is getting serious. Particularity note is that the smartphone addiction rate among teenagers is higher than the adult, and the smartphone addiction rate in the higher than the internet addiction rate. Prior the spheres and the proliferation of the smartphone, there was the many studies on the internet and the mobile phone addiction, and some recent research on the smartphone addiction among teenagers meaning on the effect of smartphone addiction on the teenager. Despite the rising smartphone addiction rate among teenagers and many programs, research on various factors that can affect teenage smartphone addiction and approach from an ecological perspective have to be made. Studies of ecological system variables affecting smartphone addiction, showing connection between personal system factors, aggression, depression, self-control, parenting, parent-child communication, and parent-child addiction. Analysis of the group-specific difference by smartphone addiction, showing significant difference in aggression, depression, self-control, and parent-child communication. Further, in family system factors. Qualitative research among prior studies has derived various meanings of the individual's experience in using smartphones, and the key to predicting most studies is the interpersonal personal relationship are closely related to smartphone use experience. According to communication theory, during communication is either direct communication, so the concept to communication with others is corresponding to interpersonal problems relation to smartphone use experience by quality to research the concept of direction communication seems to correspond to qualitative research on using smartphone due to interpersonal programs. Using smartphone due to fluctuation in the communication, which another should eventually lead to direction communication each other's communication using smartphone can be considered as need to use it. However, to using smartphone is the causing problems because they are not able to demand then correspond with them. On this issue, it can be seen in the discussion that acceptance will and expression ability determine the quality of the communication through face-to-face conducted with others. Based on the limitation of the study, the direction of subsequent studies can be presented. Studies shall be conducted to correction and analysis data conducted on the subject of the smartphone addiction for clear conceptual arrangement. The study of the relevant concept will need to be included. To express the clear concept of the smartphone addiction, research should be conducted in parallel with the theoretical approach, since it should be eventually it is also respond able in the direction of the follow-up research. And mobile phone addiction and some recent research and smartphone addiction among teenagers focus meaning on the expected smartphone addiction the teenagers. According to communication theory, during communication with others, direction communication, show the concept of the communication is others corresponding to interpersonal problems related to smartphone use experience research. The concept of the direction communication seems to correspond to using smartphones to personal programs. So, based on the limited of the study in the direction of the subconscious studied can be translated. Studies shall be conducted to collected and analyzed data conducted on the subject of the smartphone addiction for clearer conceptual arrangement. The study of the relevant concept will need to be included. To establish the clear concept of the smartphone addiction, research should be conducted in parallel with theoretical approach, since it should eventually lead to solving addiction problems. Practical application research is also in the direction of follow-up research. Thank you.